Quien dice que no duelen las huellas en la arena, tu huella el mar se la llevó, pero la luna sigue ahí.
So I'm Michael. I'm a sophomore entrepreneurship major, music minor, and I went to Ecuador for spring break, to Quito, Ecuador. The thing that drew me to doing an Ignacio Companion trip is a lot contained in what they call themselves. So a lot of trips that go to developing nations for a week or a couple of days or a couple of weeks call themselves mission trips, or they say that it's like a service trip. And one of the things that really drew me to the IC program is that they don't use that label. They call them cultural immersion trips or faith-based immersion trips. And I think that's really more representative of the work that you have the chance to do.
In 1964, the Working Boys Center was founded by Padre Juan and Madre Miguel, and it was really to address the educational needs from the shoeshine boys in Ecuador. And then shortly after, it started helping the entire family. So their whole motto is a family for families, and they really get down to the root causes of poverty. Something that's really resonated with me is their 10 values to really combat these issues of poverty. And the 10 issues are loyalty, personal formation, family, religion, education, health, work, recreation, economy, and then lastly housing. They have adult education classes, they get 2 meals a day, and they're really just able to reverse the cycle of poverty.
So a lot of the families that are part of the center, they don't really have their own plot of land, their own house when they start out, but the center has like a deal with them where if they, within 5 years after they join, once they like help with other building projects and everything, like people will help them build their own house.
One of the most, lasting memories I have, and I think it'll be with me for a long time, is this instance when we worked at a house build. The term that we used was minga, which means to build a house, but not just build a house, but build a community, because they really believe that the house is the root, the foundation of community and building a family. And when we were at this house build, this minga, there was an instance in which the homeowner told most of us to start moving rocks. We really had no idea what we were moving them for and why we were moving it, and it was hot and arduous, but it didn't matter. We did it and we stayed present, and in the end of the day, we realized that the rocks were being used to help build the foundation of the house. And later in that trip, that became the overarching theme of a lot of what we talked about in our reflections, and these instances in life when we are asked to move the rocks in a spiritual sense, in an everyday sense, putting in work and effort and not fully realizing the benefits of that work or the outcomes.
The Working Boys Center talked about poverty as a spiritual condition. So we need to realize that when someone's experiencing poverty, they are experiencing really a spiritual condition where they are neglected and marginalized by society as a whole, and that affects way more than just their living conditions. It affects how they view themselves. It affects how they treat other people and how they really experience the world. And that's something that's very difficult for us as Americans who live in such a material world to understand.
After each day, we would come and do little reflections on what we were experiencing, and what they're experiencing impacts people in different ways, and we just gain these entirely new and different insights that you didn't have before going on the trip.
Brindo por ella, por la novia más hermosa del planeta, por la reina de mis sueños, la muñeca que conquistó mi corazón. Hoy voy a brindar por nuestro amor.
first day that we got there like Sunday morning, and that weekend was Carnival, which is kind of like our version of Mardi Gras. And so pretty much everyone parties over the weekend, and then the Monday and Tuesday of that week, they don't have school or work or anything. And so they have these like spray foam can things, and they spray everyone on the streets with them, and it's kind of like silly string a little bit. And they'll spray like random people and their friends and everything, and they'll just get into wars with them, and they'll like throw water on people and everything. And so our first day there, we went to the equator line. Random people started spraying us with the cans, and it kind of made us feel like more a part of the culture and more like accepted, because we saw them spraying each other, but at first they weren't spraying us because we were kind of like outsiders. But then they sprayed us, and then we ended up buying cans and then spraying each other.
It's been awesome having that experience, because you know, in the case of the Minga, we got to saw what it was manifesting into, but you know, for a lot of my life right now, I haven't been able to see that, but I keep that with me at all times, and every time I look down at my Ecuador bracelets, I realize that, you know, those lessons are with me, and you know, whether or not you see the results of your hard work and your actions is not the point. It's just that you're doing that, you're being present, and you're doing what you're being asked of. And sometimes that's all life is. You don't know what you're doing, but you embrace the questions.
You can't go in for a week and expect to make a big difference. You can't expect to go in, solve problems, or even really get to know their problems in just a week's time. So what I liked about the term immersion is that even from the very start, you're going in there with a plan just to experience it and become a part of it, meet people, love people, live alongside of them, and I think that's really, really what we did when we were down there.